once this is done, it's gonna be a big improvement. Look, it's like magical paradise. So we got a bit of a problem. We think we made a really crazy discovery. What's up, guys? Welcome back.
Welcome back. We are out here in this beautiful lush rainforest property. Things have been going really well. You know, we got our house set up. We got interrupted with some animals that showed up on us. Last week we finally got some food planted. And what else we do? We got some water set up. Yeah, we got a water set up. And now we're getting to the next step. The next phase of this is really learning what our land is going to be about and finding the best place that we're going to build our future dream home. I'm going to have to build it with these two hands. So we're looking for the right place. The old house was a little too close to the road, I think, for everyone's comfort. You guys seem to not love that. I know that we don't really like it.
We didn't like that.
So we're kind of going, what I'd like to get done today, and it's going to be pretty ambitious because I think it's already a little bit later in the day, is to get a perimeter around the entire property. This way I know...
That's not going to happen, but we're going to attempt it.
This way I know what's the neighbors and I know what's ours. And then after that, the next thing I want to do is really identify how the land is working. And this is the reason I wanted to do it by hand and not with a machine, is because I want to see where the water's laying, what parts are flooding, and what parts are dry and flat, so that way when I do come in with a machine, I can just manicure it a little bit instead of hopefully having to massively change any part of the land. So that's what we're getting into today. We're going adventuring, chrysantulas, scorpions, centipedes. You should have worn more protective gear.
I didn't know we were going deep in the jungle until now.
Too bad, it's so sad, you know. All right, so I'm noticing when I come through here that I have some really big coffee trees, like up to, 10, 15 feet, which I think is about as big as they get. And the problem is that when they go up that high, the beans go up that high. So I'm gonna be out here on a ladder trying to harvest my coffee. So I don't know, how do I trim them down? How do I prune them down to get the berries more accessible?
Favorite things to do when we're walking around and exploring our property is finding big voluptuous palm trees. Palm trees are my favorite trees, and I just feel so lucky and so happy that I own property with natural giant palm trees that I didn't have to buy in place. It's like magical paradise.
Found another cool guava tree. There's some fat boy guavas way up there that I can't reach, but I think if I shake it, they might fall down.
Oh, you got one.
Birds already bit that one, so it's okay that it fell in the mud puddle. I got a couple more though. I think that these are parches. I'm not sure if they're guavas or parches or something else, guaynabo maybe. I don't know. There's some different fruits around here. But these have what we call, my grandma used to call them piss ants, because they're little tiny ants and they just bite the piss out of you. Okay, so the trail has more or less stopped right here where we can get through to. So I looked on the map, there's like this little very faint creek that I believe is the edge, and if I follow this, it'll go to the edge of our property, and then I'll be able to cut west to find the other boundary.
guys, we think we made a really crazy discovery. Are you excited?
I'm hyped. So this is something that I had heard about and from looking at the satellite imagery of the property. I was thinking that there was going to be a manantial or manantial, as us gringos read it. Me and Kristen were calling it manantials for years, and a good friend of mine in Culebra said it's manantial. And I said, oh, so it's not manantial. But anyways, what a manantial is a ground-fed spring or a well. And that's what I do believe I have found. We've uncovered the blocks here. So that's basically what you do. You block it out when you find a clean water source.
The previous owner.
The previous owner. I do see some blocks here under the jungle. And the water, we have been getting rain lately, so there are puddles of water here and there, but there's a big sloping hill here, and the water's crystal clear. And it seems a little bit colder than like just a puddle of water. There are some tadpoles in it, so there's life. It's good, fresh, clean water, I suppose. But it's just crystal clear. It's not muddy, which is what all the other puddles are that you walk by. And when I walk down into this creek, not really a creek, I believe it's being fed by this, and the water is flowing. So I do believe there's a water feed here, and that would be great. Maybe I would have to get some water test kits to test the water to see like how clean it is or what's in it, what exactly is. So if any of you guys out there do that, I would love to test the river anyway. If anyone has any recommendations for water test kits or easy, simple things that I can just dip in the water to see if water's safe to drink or how it would need to be treated, let me know. Recommend them in the comments below if you guys have any good ones, because I definitely need some, and I've been doing some research, but every brand says the exact same thing. So if you guys have some tidbits, let me know. But either way, exciting discovery, very cool. At a minimum, it would be good for animals. This would be a great freshwater source for if I have some cows. So if I do flatten this area out and turn into a pasture land, I might let some of this flooded area go for pasture, either for hogs or for cattle, just because, you know, don't animals like that? Farm animals like to roll around in the mud. They need it. They need mud, right? So let me know. And super excited, super hyped for that, because that's a huge deal. Not that we're short on water here. We have a whole creek, river, and it rains every day. But
this is cool.
It's always good to have a third way to go. So it's great.
What happened?
The boy got stung by a wasp.
There's a wasp nest?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those hurt bad.
Mm-hmm.
Should we retreat?
For now, I think we should for sure. I don't want you getting stung. Ooh, that worked out. Hope I'm not allergic.
Don't say that. Sorry that happened to you.
So as we all know here over the past couple weeks, this Mr. Do Work is my favorite tool. I believe it's a sling blade. I think that's what it's called. But the only problem with it is I always break my handles. I swing this thing too hard and I chop down things with it probably that aren't supposed to be. So I do break the handles, which sucks because now I have to go back and re-whittle it out and get it good and shoved up in there. But the Do Work is not done. He will live to fight another day, but this is a good indicator to go home, get some lunch, see if this rainstorm's gonna pass, and hopefully I don't go into anaphylactic shock from my bee sting, wasp sting.
We got a bit of a problem. We were drinking our coffee this morning and we heard, sounded like someone was outside, like a car was running. So we went to look out our window and shockingly we saw a man taking a bag of, what kind of bag?
Like a feed bag.
Like an animal feed bag, and dumping out more kittens. 2 kittens and like a mom. It looked like.
My boy didn't just dump out the kittens, he dumped out the whole squad. The mama came with him. So it was not an ideal morning. He took off. I caught him on the way out and said, look, please don't dump any more animals here. But it's clearly...
He didn't stop to hear the conversation, though. Matt said, stop or don't put any more animals here, please.
Yeah, no más, por favor. No más animales. I don't know how to say it, but it's a prevalent issue here. We're going to have to start a rescue here if we don't watch our P's and Q's. Our population is growing daily, so it's a pretty big deal here. And I think that has catapulted us into a could-be solution for that. And that's what we're going to deviate from. Obviously, we wanted to be exploring our jungle land and getting into that more this week, but life comes at you how it comes at you. You know, God throws things in your
We are
laps.
not taking the kittens, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you. We are
Hell
not
no.
taking the kittens. We're very thankful that the neighbor lady a couple blocks down, she takes in cats and takes care of them, so we already delivered them. One bit Matt.
Yeah,
so
they were frightened. I went out to feed them, but I couldn't get to them, so I just left the food, and then from out the window you could see them eating. And then she came by and got one, but the other one ran in the bushes, so I asked her, I said, hey, you want me to catch that one and bring it to you? She said, yeah, sure. So I went to grab it, and it bit me. Hopefully I don't have rabies. That would not be ideal. Cleaned it really well. You know, my thumb is a little sore. So we'll see how that goes. But we got the 2 kittens, and then I'm sure the mom's going to meander on over there as well. But either way, it came in our lap, and now we're going to do the only solution we can do to hopefully get people to stop dumping animals right in front of the house. So as you can see here, this is the side road that leads up to our property, and clearly it looks abandoned, very overgrown. If you were in a pinch and you were wanting to drop off some kittens, I would say optics, this would be the ideal place. Plenty of little bushes for them to go into. It's quick, there's no house around, there's no visuals to see you doing it because I'm certain that it is illegal. I'm not going to go any further with trying to seek any sort of prosecution or anything crazy like that. I'm just trying to solve my own problems, not make them for someone else. So I think there's a fence here. If we can clear all of this out, make it look clean, give a little more visibility to the area, people are going to be less likely to drop it off because it's obviously going to look like we live here. And I'm going to put up some signs possibly as well. No dumping, no kittens, no dogs. Please take your animals home.
Quickly realizing that the road is a lot wider than we thought, and this is going to take a few passes to go by. Once this is done, it's going to be a big improvement though, now that I'm seeing how far back the road goes under that grass.
So phase 1 down, we got the first 30 feet knocked out, not completely finished, but we got the road cleared here. And I'd say we have to do what we just did about 10 more times, and then we need a little bit more to clean her up a little bit better. So we got some work going. right, so now that I knocked that down, you can kind of see that I wasn't telling stories. There is a fence back there. There's tons of vines through it. I got the road pretty well cleared off. I think I added like another 5-6 feet to this road, so all the neighbors should be happy.
That's an exaggeration.
All the neighbors should be happy about that. It's a good percentage of addition though. Everyone's going to be excited about that. So now they're going to have, at least when the people come to drop off their animals, they'll be able to be safely off to the side of the road so they don't get ran over. But now I'm going to attempt to get all of these vines and all this stuff out of the chain link fence. I'm just going to approach that with my hoe, try to rip it off because all this stuff is incredibly itchy, but I'm sure that I will find myself in there manually pulling on it. We'll see how it goes.
Guys, we just had to run off an iguana from eating my pumpkins. I planted pumpkins about a couple weeks ago, and I only got 2 to sprout, or what would it be called?
Germinate.
I got 2 to germinate, and the iguana just ate half of one of them and bit off a leaf of another one. So I have predators out here. I'm gonna have to put some sort of fence around the 2 pumpkins. Why are you laughing?
When they eat grass, they're not called predators.
It's a predator to my pumpkins. So I got a little work to do on that. I'm probably gonna use some chicken wire to make just a ring and put it around there. I don't think they went out of their way to eat just the pumpkins. They were probably eating all of the grass, but I'm gonna protect them. I don't care what Matt says. The predators are out. All right, as you can see, Matt cleared out a lot of the land and we got our fence showing. It's not completely done. It took a lot of work. I guess the city's supposed to do this, is what the neighbors said, but...
Yeah, should be. It's an easement. It's not my land. It's not my land. It's the state's land. But there's like a state road, and this is a municipal road, I believe. I don't exactly know, and who knows if that stuff even really is real here in Puerto Rico. But yeah, they don't come to do it, so I had to do it. Turns out the road was about 8 feet wider than it was looking like it was. Everyone's nice, having a nice drive around this corner now. So we got that done. It wasn't easy, but realistically it was pretty easy. It only took us about 8-9 hours of hard work. So
now we're thinking though that we need some privacy on our property, so we might decide to put up a cool fence. If you have any good fence ideas, let us know in the comments. It'd be cool to do like a bamboo sort of fence. I think would go really well with the property.
A big bamboo,
but we need some privacy. We want our good palm trees to show, but we also want to have some privacy.
Well, that's the main thing, is privacy for one, but the palm trees, they get so buried in the jungle that they can't live. So Kristen says, rip everything down around the palm trees. Palm trees take priority. They need the sun. They need the photosynthesis and the chlorophyll. So she said, get some sunshine on them palm trees. So that's what we do first and foremost. And then, we just clear little by little. Rome wasn't built in a day, right?
No.
Earlier I went down the left side of the property, and now I'm over to closer to the right side of the property. And I just picked a spot to jump through the fence to start bushwhacking through to try to discover the other part of the lands, the boundaries, something I've been trying to pay a lot of attention to, because the last thing I want to do is like encroach on somebody else's. So I've been getting together with the neighbors. Buddy's been helping me out to try to really settle in to what's going to be what, because obviously once I get a machine out here, I don't want to be running over somebody else's petunias and ruining their life. So we're going to jump through this fence, we're going to go out, and y'all are going to get to discover what I've discovered.
we first bought the land, we knew we couldn't get through most of the jungle part. We didn't really have enough time to be out here bushwhacking. And with the drone, I decided to look around the property, and I saw this magnificent giant palm tree. And today is the day where I finally get to see it. Matt uncleared this path earlier, and now I get to see it, and it's more magical than I could ever imagine. I don't know how old it is, but it's super tall. How tall do you think it is, Matt?
I'm gonna say it's upwards of 60 feet.
It's awesome. It's
Maybe
my favorite
70?
tree. We need to build something around this. I envision maybe in the future me riding my horse right by my big palm tree, enjoying life. It could happen.
All right, so the other day when I was clearing this, I was finding another little tributary, another mountain. I believe it's called a seep. It's when water gets stuck on top of the mountains and then it slowly goes to like the limestone, the clay, and everything else. It slowly drips out, and the water was coming out. It's kind of dried up by today. It hasn't rained in about 4 days. But the other day it was flowing out like a little tiny waterfall, and it was crystal clear. And I didn't drink any because I didn't want to get amoebas or anything like that. But I've heard that the water gets stuck high up on the mountains, and then basically the mountain kind of filters it out, and it comes out pretty clear. So that's pretty cool. And then it feeds like the main manantial, the main little stream seep that goes all the way to the river. So it's either like a beautiful mountain spring, or, you know, could be the sewage pipes coming out.
No, it's not.
So there's one more magical place the other day while I was clearing land that I discovered that I want to take you guys to see. But first, I got to go through this swampy area. There's this big swamp of lily pads. Not lily pads. We call these elephant ears growing up for obvious reasons. Do I look like an elephant? I ain't going to show you all my trunk, no matter how much I want it. But anyway.
Matthew.
We have to go through the swamp, then we got to go to this big grassy field, and then there's the magical place. And this is our plantain banana garden. I think it's been left a little too long. I'm not sure plantain trees are supposed to get that big. All the bananas and plantains are like 30 feet off the ground, so they're pretty hard to harvest. They just make giant, I don't even know what it would be called, bunch of bananas. And it makes the whole tree fall over when they get so heavy. So that's the only way you can get the bananas. I do have a Fisker pole. I forgot to bring it down with me today, or I would be harvesting those sweet yellow boys. But yeah, this is awesome. We probably have, I'd say 100 plantain trees at least, right? Mixture of banana and plantains. I don't know the difference. Kristen seems to think she can tell the difference between the leaves, but the leaves all look the exact same to me. So your guess is as good as mine.
Missed. 1, 2.
If you need me to move, let me know.
I did it! I got fat baby bananas! Fat baby bananas!
Look at our
Watch
bounty.
out, it's dripping in our eyes.
Word of the wise, don't look up when someone says it's dripping. Idiot.
You did that?
Yeah, hit my cheek, thank God.
Alright guys, and this is another beautiful area that we have on our property with, it's like a bamboo forest, but some reason the middle is gone, so it's like this cool like little hideout. If you're like a kid, this would be like the all-time best hideout. And we love it here. We're having a good week this week. Even though people dropped off more kittens, we found good homes for them. Hopefully the neighbor's gonna take care of them.
I did speak with her. She said she loves them. She said they're really sweet. The one that bit me that I thought may have gave me the rabies, she said he's good. He's really healthy. He's coming back. He bounced back. So she said probably doesn't have rabies, but either way, probably.
He was just scared.
He was just not having a great day. It rained all over him. He saw his little brother or his little sister get rescued. So that thing worked itself out. Now that our land is cleaner, hopefully that becomes more of a deterrent. And obviously as we go, but I don't know. It's kind of like they got to drop them somewhere. They might as well drop them with us so we can try to save them. I don't know. I hate to think.
No, I can't take the guilt on my heart. I can't take it seeing the babies. And I don't want to have 100 cats.
Well, it's like you said when I didn't want the first 3 cats. You said we got land. And now I fell in love with those little devils, so I can never get rid of them now.
They're growing fast.
Now they're under
doing
my
good.
care.
Bear, for everyone who's wondering, our previous cat Bear is doing better than she's ever done before.
Not our previous cat, our original cat, the OG.
The
cat
cat
that
we
been with
had
us.
before, yeah.
Our sailing cat, my best friend.
She's still our baby. She stays in the house, the RV. She prefers indoors. She's not an adventure cat. She was a sailing cat, but not by choice.
No, she didn't really love sailing either. And we keep her separate. A lot of people have said, oh, how's she interacting with the new animals? And for one, she doesn't interact with other animals. She hates every other animal. And we don't want to let them interact anyway because the babies may have mites. They haven't been to the vet yet. We've scheduled their vet appointment, so they got to get their shots. And then once they have their shots for a certain amount of time, then they can get fixed. So they're going to get flea treatments, mite treatments, mange, worms, all that stuff.
They seem pretty healthy, though, but we're
Yeah,
gonna get it
they're
all
healthy,
worked
but they
out.
got to get all the right stuff, and then we got to get them fixed because they're going to be outside, and I don't want to run off getting into trouble, chasing tail all over town. So
anyways, we've gotten our perimeter of our land all figured out. So I think our next step is we're gonna have to get a big machine in here. We know where the flat spots are. We know where the flooding happens. We know what goes up and what goes down. Next step is getting machines in here so we can figure out where we're gonna live. So all exciting things over here. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you check out our Patreon if you wanna see our updates, real-time updates, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.